Hey guys, yeah, another finger here on YouTube. So today I'm going to be reacting to John Cena and the controversy last year where he apologized for calling Taiwan a country from a Taiwanese perspective. So I'm going to share with you some of my thoughts on this whole event. So without further ado, I think I'm going to start by checking out his apology video. And he's even doing it in Mandarin Chinese. I'm pretty fluent, to be honest.
所以在第一个采访，我有一个错误，所有人问我，如果我可以用中文，速度激情做人给我很多资讯 information， 所以很多采访，很多 information， 我有一个错误。 我必须说，现在就是很重要。我爱更尊重中国跟中国人。我很抱歉，对我错误。
Okay.
对不起，我很抱歉。你必须了解。
And he just has to emphasize so many times how much he loved China and Chinese people.
很尊重中国跟中国人。不好意思，再见。
Okay, yeah, so that was basically the apology video. Okay, so I would say that honestly, it's a bit sad for me to watch. I know that generally speaking, most people are being really harsh on him. Like since this is out, he's been getting so many backlash. And of course, from a perspective of a person from Taiwan, I am really thankful that so many people are standing out for Taiwan and also criticizing the fact that people need to apologize to China because of something like this. So I do really appreciate that people are giving this attention. And also so many people are taking Taiwan's side. But on the other hand, I also feel a bit bad for him because I also briefly mentioned it in my social credit meme reaction video, but I could kind of imagine that it was not just about him, right? What he did would probably affect the whole film production and also the companies that invested in his film. So if he did not apologize, the whole thing would probably just be cancelled in China, and then he probably would have to pay for all the loss to the companies, so I suppose that also wouldn't be the most logical thing for him to do. So I don't know if you will agree with me on this, but generally speaking, I can never really feel angry towards people who are kind of being forced into apologizing to China. So I suppose for most Westerners, it's probably the first time they experience something like this. Like one of their celebrities has to apologize to China, and on top of that, John Cena is not just any celebrity, he's like this huge international superstar that everybody knows of or at least has heard of his name once. So I guess it's the reason why everybody was so shocked and thus the reaction. But for Taiwanese people, we're like so used to it, you know, like so many of our celebrities have already gone to China, and in order to become famous and earn a lot of money there, a lot of them have already done and said many things in favor of the CCP, and also definitely a lot of them have been forced to apologize to China as well. So after seeing so many examples, as I said, nowadays I don't really feel offended when I see celebrities or companies apologizing to China, specifically if they're kind of being forced into doing so, because there's this other group of celebrity and what they're doing actually annoys me so much more. So these are the celebrities that just have to go the extra mile to please the CCP. So there's just so many Taiwanese celebrities, they would just go to China, and before they're even asked to do anything, they would just make tons of posts saying how much they love the People's Republic of China and saying how much they think Taiwan should immediately become a part of the People's Republic of China, and also how much they support human rights violations in Xinjiang and Hong Kong. So they're literally building their fame and wealth on top of other people's suffering because they know that, exactly because they're from Taiwan, that if they say these things, they would just immediately become super famous and all of the Chinese audience would just love them. But then when it comes to these people, you would always see them praising the People's Republic of China, saying how much they love the People's Republic of China, but then they never change their nationality to the People's Republic of China. They would always still keep their Taiwanese citizenship, and then whenever anything goes wrong in the People's Republic of China, they would just flee to Taiwan. Like for example, at the beginning of the pandemic of COVID-19, you would see so many of these people just fleeing back to Taiwan because they are seeing that Taiwan is containing the virus so well, and they would also also use the healthcare and a lot of welfare here. But then of course these welfare in Taiwan are only made possible because we are not a part of the People's Republic of China. So like on the one hand, they're enjoying all of these things they can enjoy in Taiwan exactly because Taiwan is not a part of the People's Republic of China, and then they're turning their back against Taiwan and then telling the PRC what they want to hear and saying that they think Taiwan should become a part of the People's Republic of China. So for me, these are the people that I think are really, really despicable, and I basically have no respect for these celebrities. So I guess compared to them, those people who are being forced into apologizing to China, I don't think they're inherently evil. So for example, this John Cena event, before his apology, I don't really think he ever made any claims about any human rights violations in China. And then also after this apology, he never did anything like that either, I don't think. So for me, I don't really feel offended towards this apology, to be completely honest. And of course, I'm not speaking for all Taiwanese people, because I do know that there are also a lot of Taiwanese people who are indeed offended by this apology. It's just that personally, because of the reason that I said, I don't really feel offended. Okay, moving on, I'm going to be reacting to this video called John Cena's Bizarre Relationship with China.
John Cena and China, a relationship as strong as developing countries in massive debt and China. Game shows, modern wrestling, movies, they're huge amongst normies. Why is this important? If it's huge with normies, it means the United States can ship it overseas with great return.
Haven't seen this
People love
meme
the
in a while.
stereotype of American badass, ridiculous, I don't give a fuck culture.
We have caught and compromised to a permanent end Osama bin.
Okay, I just have to say here that I love the editing so much. Like, they're discussing this topic somewhat seriously, but then there's memes flying everywhere, and they're all super on point, and it's just super funny as well.
So anyway, John Cena, who has been living in China, learning Mandarin, and enjoying Chinese culture, goes on a tour promoting his new movie. And in one of those interviews, he calls the Republic of China, aka Taiwan, a country.
Taiwan 是第一次国家.
Now, for those of you who don't know, if a country did this, China would not trade with them. So this is some serious stuff. So he got on his Weibo account and made a very sincere apology to not the Chinese people, although it was directed at them, but directly to the Chinese government.
Okay, to be fair, I definitely think that this apology was also directly addressed to the Chinese audience as well, because they're also super furious about this. So at this point, so many Chinese people have already been brainwashed that they will just do all of these things, going on the internet, harassing people, getting things banned before their government could even take any actions. So one example I would like to share with you is that there's this game made by a Taiwanese developing team, so it's called Devotion, and there was this thing that was considered offensive towards the CCP, so then this game was banned on Steam. But then 2 years later, it was announced that this game would reappear on this website called GOG, I think it's what it's called. So anyway, after the announcement, so many Chinese people just immediately went to this website, making complaints, making reports to this website, saying that they find this game super offensive, and then immediately the next day, the website announced that they're no longer allowing this Taiwanese game to be on their website. So as you can see, Chinese people, Chinese audience are definitely very, very powerful when it comes to these type of things. Like, they would literally just do all the works for their government. So I'm pretty sure that the apology was definitely not just for the Chinese government.
I mean, in a weird way, the John Cena apology does kind of make sense logically. He's built up a big following in China, he's representing some massive Hollywood studio who is counting on him to bring in the big ones. If he doesn't do this, he might blacklist both himself and the studio in China. So maybe his hand was forced a little.
Yeah, that's exactly the point that I was trying to make before.
This apology was only posted on Weibo, a kind of Chinese Twitter, so very few people had inside access. But those people began to leak other videos John Cena posted on his Chinese social media accounts. And to say they were weird is to put it very lightly.
Definitely.
I mean, maybe some of the humor doesn't translate to English.
Okay, no, I can tell you for sure that these clips definitely also appeared to be really weird for us Chinese native speaking audiences. So, you know, the whole social credit meme never got that much of an attention in Taiwan, quite disappointing. But then this clip of John Cena having Bingqiling eventually became a super popular meme in Taiwan as well. And I would say not just in Taiwan, but just generally among the Chinese speaking audiences. And it's really just because of how weird it is. So definitely it's not that the humor does not translate into English. The clips on their own are weird, even for Chinese native speakers. That I can definitely tell you guys for sure.
None of them have really eclipsed the social credit meme. And when this
The
meme
good old
exploded,
social credit.
guess who was the face of it?
我尝试一下我做很多采访。
It's weird. I was having a conversation with a friend about John Cena, and we completely forgot he was a wrestler or actor. We just thought of him as the China guy.
Yeah, that's exactly what I think of him nowadays as well.
So what does this story tell us all? Money rules the world. John Cena is certainly not the only celebrity that will sell themselves to China. Time will tell what's to come in the future. I mean, Reddit, Epic Games, Canadian and Australian politicians have all sold themselves to China.
Let The Rock tell you in Chinese. Uh-oh. Chinese? Ding bong ding dong his.
Everyone knows this. So it isn't really a matter of will this keep happening, but who's next?
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so the video was not only hilarious, but I could definitely agree with a lot of the points made in the video. So in conclusion, I'm not really offended by John Cena's apology. I actually find it more infuriating that people are being forced to apologizing to China to begin with. But on the other hand, I'm absolutely loving the meme that comes out of it. And I think I saw a comment somewhere saying that they're actually thankful for John Cena apologizing because it was exactly that apology that raised a lot of awareness to the issue between Taiwan and China and made so many foreigners become interested in Taiwan. So I absolutely agree with this comment. So in a sense, I'm even thankful for this apology, I guess. And in case you're new to this channel and if you don't know much about the relationship between Taiwan and China, now you might be really wondering whether Taiwan is a part of China or not. I've actually already made a video answering that question. I can just tell you straight away that it's definitely not just a simple yes/no question, which is why I'm not going to take the time to explain that all over again in this video, but I would leave a link to that video down in the description, so please check it out if you're interested. Okay, finally, I think I'm gonna end this video with this song playing in the background because it's just so genius. I've been listening to it several times every day. I'm absolutely addicted. You might have already watched it before, but if you haven't, you should really check that out. It's so good. I'll definitely leave a link for you in the description. But that was basically it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed. Please leave a like if you did, and please subscribe for more reaction videos from a Taiwanese perspective. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.